modest, like it's a 5%. So I believe that teachers and staff received somewhere in 2.5 last year, and now I believe they're underpaid as well. 2.5% of the $2,700 are currently paid is like $60 a year. So it's not very much. So even at the approximately 5% rate, it's a minimal increase. And even though they do have a group helping them with the decisions on the mitigation strategies, they have put in a ton of extra hours dealing with the pandemic this year. So, I mean, they've put in way more hours than they have in past years, so it's a fair raise.
Yes, Amy?
Do you want me to state my name?
Yes, please, state your name and
Okay.
address.
Again, Amy Table. I have to keep remembering my address. W7563 Castle Heights Drive, Holmen. I do want to point out that the consumer price index for this year is a 5% increase. So although our teachers are not getting that, which they probably should be, the consumer price indexes, so Medicare, other groups are getting a 5% increase. So I see it only fair that we do give our school board a 5% increase. It is a minimal amount. And again, I do believe that, Jen, you said that they've passed off all of their duties about dealing with COVID. I beg to differ because I've been to most of the school board meetings and I've seen what they've had to deal with on and off. I know they've received a lot of letters and emails, both from both sides that they've had to respond to. And it's taken a significant amount of time that they don't get paid for. So I think we really need to take into consideration not just the time that they spend here during these meetings that they're getting paid for, but also the time outside of these meetings that they're trying to respond to. They're human beings and they're working on behalf of the school district, whether you like their position or not. That shouldn't make a difference on how we pay our school board. If somebody else that you cared and liked better was up there, would you want to see them get this 5% increase? I think you would. So I think let's vote based on what's fair and not if you currently like the school board or not, and if they're in favor of your side or not. This can't be about sides anymore. We have to bring unity and we have to look at what's fair.
Thank you, Amy.
That's all I have to say.
Any other comments?
My name is Paul Wesley, at 8730 Garfield Road, Holmen, Wisconsin. Christy, I would like to say that last year, the school board did receive a increase in wages of 1.81 or 1.18%. And what you were just saying about Jennifer stating that they passed on everything that they did onto the administration, that is not her words verbatim.
Point of order.
Yes. What's your point of order?
Comments should not be directed to other members of the assembly. They should be directed to the general question.
Thank you, Patrick. You're right.
Maybe that with the prior speaker, but I think.
At least you admit that you're trying to keep it fair.
Okay. I'll just call order. Are there any other discussion? I see some in the back.
While I'm not opposed to giving the board a raise, I do think in an equity situation, if we're not going to give our staff that same raise, we should not be giving the board that same raise.
Okay, any way in the back?
My name is Mary Hammond, W6166 Valley Place. I do not agree with a 5% increase. Your teachers are not being paid a 5% increase. Your teachers are being paid much less. Other industries don't even see an increase, and if they do, it's much less than 5%. I will not succumb to your guilt trips by people who have talked earlier. This board needs to be held accountable for what actions that they have done. This school board should be apolitical. They should set aside and be in a volunteer type of capacity. Sure, they need to be reimbursed for what they're here for. It's not here to make money. It's not here to have their wheels greased. We do need to come together, and we do need to put our kids first. And I see a lot of you not doing that. And by giving this board 5%, it's not right.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, a motion's been made to call the question. I believe we need, I'm sorry, the call the question is on the floor. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Robert's Rules of Order allows for her to call the question. And if she calls the question, no second is needed, no discussion happens. I have it right here. It does take a 2/3 vote. Calling the question ends discussion. So Robert's Rules of Order, I have it right here, Tony. It is appropriate at any time, but it does take a 2/3 vote. So a motion is on the floor to call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay? Nay. Motion carries. So now we will move on to the motion. Now, okay, the division has been called. It is appropriate. A division has been called, and it is appropriate. It's very similar. It does not require a second, and it is not debatable. So what a division is you have to we are either going to vote by raising your hand so that we can lodge your vote that way, or standing. And so I think, and Stacy and Dr. Mueller will serve as clerks for this and do the count.
Actually, we're going to have our non-electors come do
Okay.
the count. So those that have been identified as non-electors to count, if you could make sure you get in your section and can count for us. Thank you.
So yes, so that eligible voters all may be able to vote. So I think if someone wants to take each section and count and then come and compile those. So all those in favor, and calling the question just is ending discussion. So all those in favor of calling the question, please raise your hand. You're not you calling the question. Are you done with your count? Okay, you can put your hands down. Then all those in favor, all those opposed, please raise your hand. So the result is 157 yes, 31 no. It would require 120, so the motion to call the question passes. Now on to the motion. The motion is to increase the board pay or to establish the board pay salary at $2,910 and per diem and for special meetings at $52 each. That is the motion on the floor. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Nay. Motion carries. Okay, division means, again, we must raise our hands. So, to take account. So all those in favor, please raise your hand. And the counters are counting, so let them come around. Got me. Okay. All right, can they put their hands down? Kim, I'm looking to you. Okay, then all those opposed, please raise your hand. Thank you, and the results of that are 149 yes and 26 no, so the motion passes. Next item is the tax levy. And I will ask Julie to put the proposed resolution there. And I certainly could ask someone to list that out, but I will read the motion and then entertain a motion to pass. But I do want to read the resolution unless you're comfortable with this is the resolution. But the motion would be to set the school levy at $18,614,286, consisting of $12,966,269 for Fund 10, General Fund, $5,542,925 for Fund 39, Referendum Debt Service, $100,000 for Fund 80, Community Service, and $5,092 for prior levy chargebacks. So I would entertain a motion, such a motion. Yes.
I move to approve the tax levy for the 2021-2022 school year at $18,614,286 as outlined on the next page.
Okay. Is there a second? Barb is a second? Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on the tax levy? Okay, seeing none, I would Ask for all those in favor of the motion to set the tax levy, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Then, short-term borrowing. Julie, would you just like to make a couple brief comments related to that?
At each annual meeting, the board seeks approval from the community to, as necessary, use short-term borrowing. While the district has not needed to exercise this external borrowing authority in over 20 years, approval at the annual meeting makes this financial activity possible should there be a need during the year. So the purpose of this is if our revenue, our expenses, our payroll, accounts payable, which are more regular throughout the school year, happen to exceed when we get our state aid from the state government or our tax levy payments from the municipalities. And so this is just a safeguard for short-term borrowing if we would need to do that. Again, haven't had to do that for over 20 years, but if we don't recommend this approval, we cannot do it anytime before the next annual meeting.
Okay, so then I would entertain a motion to approve the district borrowing up to $1 million for the 21-22 short-term borrowing. Christie? Okay, is there a second? Kim? You want to state your name and address? Okay, so a motion has been made and seconded to approve allowing the district to borrow up to $1 million for the 21-22 school year. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Disposal of tangible property. Julie.
Sure. Policy 690, School Board Policy 690, disposal of tangible property. Allows, the foundation behind this is when the school district of Holmen determines that certain property is no longer needed for school purposes or should in the interest of the district be exchanged for other property, the school board may authorize the sale, trade, donation, or disposal of such property. There are some thresholds within this policy. Property estimated to have a fair market value less than $500. Little or no cost, could be donated to local charity or civic organization, recycled, traded in, or disposed of in the most expedient and efficient method. The next threshold is $500 to $15,000, disposing at a fair market price, traded in, or obtain the most advantaged price in public sale. When the selling by means of public sale, advance notice of the sale shall appear on the district's website. And then finally, the third threshold is fair market value of $15,000 or more. The school board or designee must pre-approve any public notification that the property is for sale. The sale must be advertised on the district website and other means appropriate to provide reasonable notice to the public. This includes the Wisconsin State Surplus Platform.
So then I would entertain a motion to approve the disposal of tangible personal property by the school district. Is there a motion? Oh, Chris Lau, and the second by Anita Jagosinski. Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to approve the disposal of tangible personal property. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Then the last item is the annual meeting date. We have identified October 24th, 2022 as the appropriate date for the next annual meeting. I would entertain a motion to establish the 2022 annual meeting date. Yes. Can you stand and say your name? Rebecca Reber. Oh. Rebecca. Okay, a motion's been made. Is there a second? Yes. Can you state?
Jamie Todd, N5866, Walnut Court, Alaska.
Thank you. So a motion's been made and seconded to approve the October 24th, 2022 is the next annual meeting date. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you so much. I would just note before we adjourn, we're going to take a few minutes to set up for the regular board meeting. I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming out this evening. It was awesome to see all of you here, and we appreciate your willingness to take a stand for our schools. So with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the annual meeting. Way in the back, is that Chris? Is there a second? Linda? Okay, so a motion's